What's up, YouTube? This is your boy Michael coming back with some more entrepreneurial content. Welcome to the podcast. If you are new to my channel and you are thinking about starting, managing, or growing your side hustle or your business, please consider subscribing to my channel. You can do that by hitting that subscribe button, also banging on the notification bell. Today I have a special guest, one of my good friends, Ramon Ivey. He's going to be coming into the podcast. He's going to be sharing his story, what got him into actually starting his own business and entrepreneurship, and what are some of his little side hustles and the things that he's doing right now. And we're going to get into that right after the intro. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm an entrepreneur. Hey, what? So, what's your business, man? Like, what? So, I know there's some ventures out there that you've been working on, but just tell us what Ramon Ivey's doing right now.
Ramon Ivey is an arts and entertainment specialist that offers a series of services. Ultimately, I am a teacher. I know how to do a lot of different things, and in those fields, I can either service you in your business, or I can teach something that you need for your business or just for your lifestyle. Okay. For example, I went to school for graphic design, even though in high school I was already producing flyers and everything for school and whatnot. I was also the junior class president, so a lot of events I was in charge of, so I had to create a website. I had to create so many different types of marketing materials, which sparked my interest in that field. Okay. You and I went to the same high school. I don't know if you remember. There was a class we had called, what was it called? Virtual Enterprise.
There you go. Yeah, of course I remember Virtual Enterprise, man. That took me a lot of places, man. Gave me a lot of opportunities too.
Exactly. So that was the thing that advanced me in that interest, at least. So after high school, I just pushed it. Whatever I could do to stay in the artistic field, I did. To back up a little bit, I started off as a dancer. So at 9 years old, I was already a professional dancer. I was a part of a group called Steps of Praise. It was a Christian ministry that toured with Kirk Franklin, Yolanda Adams, and a whole bunch of other gospel industry artists.
Icons right there, man.
Exactly. So I felt really blessed to be able to do that. And my ultimate passion was to become a singer. But, growing up a Black male in, United States, single parent household, there wasn't a lot of money to push that drive. It costs a lot of money to be in the industry as a singer. So I didn't have money for vocal lessons. I didn't have money for artist development, nothing. So I went in the dance route. And ultimately, I'll say this: whatever you do in the art world, or even in the business world, you got to find out what is your niche. What is something that comes natural to you? And what came natural to me was entertainment. And then I learned the art of marketing around it because I had no one else. I had no backing financially. All I had was encouragement. So everything else kind of was like, oh, well, if I want to do this, then I also need this, and this. So I don't have the money. So what can I do? Learn it. So I learned it, and that was my driving force, bro.
Yeah, it's crazy because we have a very similar story. That's how I kind of dove into graphics too, man. High school, started my own little clothing line, and then I hired this girl to actually make my flyer, and it came out horrible. And in my brain, like Ramon, like I literally had as a artist, you have what you have in your head, and you know how you want it to be.
Exactly. And
I wanted her to produce that for me, and when she couldn't, I just started like messing around with it. And my dad threw Photoshop at me, was like, just messing around with it, and I was able to get what I want. So it's crazy how you said that, and even like with business, because I know I get a lot of people DMing me, asking questions like where do I start? What type of business do I start? How do I get going? It's just like, first you got to love what you're doing. And like you said, find your niche, find something that drives you, because that's going to keep you going when times are hard. So that's crazy, man. You brought up Virtual Enterprise, man. That took me back. Man, that took me back.
You know what? El Cajon Valley, it was a school that was looked down upon a lot.
Yep.
But people fail to realize that it was changing. Everything changes and evolves. And I thank God that I was able to go to that school during the time it was evolving. And it pushed me to things that I never would have thought to do.
Yeah. I mean, but look at you now though. Like you started your business and now you've taken some of your passions and said, and now they became like, you learned some things along the way. Like, what? I can make money off of this now. Like, yeah, I was
Right.
doing graphics for myself, but now I can actually service and make other people make their businesses better and bring their visions to life. So like, okay, so take me through, like, what are your focuses today, like with your business? Like, so how is that going?
Today, oh man, I have so many opportunities. Because of COVID, um, things have progressively gotten better for me.
Okay.
Um, People are, because of loans like PPP and SBA, people are sparking up businesses or in having the funding to move their business forward in a different direction than
Okay.
before. And I'm getting hired for, to do their marketing, or, somebody that may have a dream to be a beautician and they want to expand worldwide as far as selling their products, their hair products. They call me
Mhm.
like, "Hey, I need a website. How do I, what's the process?" Or
Mhm.
just today, before this meeting, I got a
Mhm.
call and they were like, "Hey, we need a flyer for this event." I was like, "Okay,
Mhm.
cool." This,
Yeah.
it's just stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff just comes to me.
Yeah.
So COVID has been bittersweet,
Okay.
um, for me anyway.
Yeah.
Um, Other things that I'm doing, I still teach dance. I have a
Okay.
passion for teaching. I'm teaching a lot online for WDO, which is Wheelchair Dance Organization,
Okay.
and the veterans, Paralyzed Veterans of America. I'm also, they're partnered up with WDO, teaching dance online for them. I'm the face and marketing director of a company called Bookable, since Culture Shock is no longer with us. I also got a I got offered a class to teach next week at Legacy Dance Studio, since things are starting to open up. They still
Yeah.
have a minimum of 10 people, but things are starting to open up and opportunities are coming that way.
Yeah.
Um, Also, I'm working with a group called Perfect,
Okay.
and I'm their
That sounds
creative.
familiar.
Yeah, does it? You got a relative, I think, up in there.
Yeah, I think so. Big Bro's over there rocking it out, doing his thing. Shout out to Torian and Perfect, man. You're doing some amazing work with them.
Thanks. Yeah, Torion's great, and Chose on the Beat. It's headed by Chose on the Beat and Elevation Studios. But I'm a major part of that production, doing all their marketing. Their website, their flyers.
Mhm.
I'm in charge overseeing their video
Mhm.
production team, choreography, of course,
Yeah.
styling, like a lot of things, different things with them.
Yeah. So my question for you is like, okay, so there's been a lot of opportunities obviously for you because you're a talented person. But what made you want to really, like, say, I want to start a business, or I want to brand, or I really want to make this into something that I can put together, package, and sell to businesses? Like, what made you take that step? Because a lot of people are taught to just go get another job, search for jobs, search for W-2 jobs. Not
Right.
a lot of people are taught to, hey, you can do this yourself on your own terms, make your own schedule, that kind of thing. So what made you really think about that rather than just seek jobs?
Well, a lot of things just came to me, and then it sparked the idea, or it was influenced by an opportunity. For example, I was working in China. I was on tour in China for 4 years,
Okay.
and during that course, I was presented with an opportunity to cast other dancers from around the world.
Mm-hmm.
So I took on that, and then I started. Okay, well, I need a flyer,
Mm-hmm.
and I need a website, and I need a business name. Like, all these things started to
Yeah.
come together, and I was like, wait a minute, what else can I do? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I want to do an event. Like, I was working in clubs, and
Mm-hmm.
they would have all these big flyers and all these things and different events going on. It's like, well, I want to start my own event.
Mm-hmm.
So then I would create an event, and I made my first event in Beijing. Um, what sparked all of that initially? Where did that come from?
Mm-hmm.
I've had many jobs, but I guess from school, and the way the curriculum was in school, it was like very. I don't know how you felt, but I felt like it was a waste of information sometimes.
For sure.
It was frustrating because, like, well, how is this learning these things going to help me with make money for my life?
Correct.
You know what I'm saying? So it was frustrating. So that sparked the interest of how can I become a boss?
Mm-hmm.
Because if I work for somebody, I'm limited to an amount that I have to make hourly or a salary monthly, versus corporations are over here making millions of dollars,
Correct.
sometimes thousands of dollars a day. And I'm like, well, I don't want to be on the bottom of that. I want to be at the top of that.
Yep.
So it was basically me assessing my situation and analyzing the way the world works.
Yeah.
And then utilizing my skill set, looking deep within myself to say, well, how can I get there?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What are the steps to get to that place? And then asking questions, doing research, and utilizing my environment, keeping my eyes open for opportunities.
Yeah. And that's crazy that you say that, because in many situations, like, we are products of our environment. Let me put a hold on that, because I'm writing a book where I'm saying I'm not a product of my environment. And this is why I say that you're not a product in your environment, essentially, because if you had just followed course with everything that was happening around you, you would still be doing the same thing. So saying that to say this, like, it's really important for people to be mindful of what's happening around them. There's business deals that are being made all the time. There's opportunities that are happening all the time. And if you're not networking, if you're not aware of those things, you're missing out on opportunities.
Exactly.
And it's crazy, man. You were talking about it. I dropped a video a couple months ago where I was just talking about just the earning cap that a lot of people are taught in school. And you're right. It's a damn waste of time, to be honest with you. It is. We're taught to just be robots, man. We're taught to be a part of the rat race. And I don't know if you're familiar with the quadrant, the income quadrant from Rich Dad Poor Dad, where he kind of talks about assets and liabilities. And a lot of people, we buy all like us. We grew up in a neighborhood where we're told to value all of these liabilities, and we don't really create any assets for ourselves that makes us money. Like what you're doing, you're taking all of those valuable tools that you gained, and those skills, you've turned those into high ticket paying skills. So now they're assets for you, and you can now use them to make more money, to do less rather than. And that's especially when we having kids, man. It's like that's been my biggest thing, is just I need to make more money doing what I love. More money doing what I love.
Who doesn't want to make more money, and who doesn't want to make more money being happy, about it? Yeah, but
it's crazy, man. Go ahead.
One thing I do want to stress is to everyone that this education is important.
Correct.
The way you go about it is up to you. Mm-hmm. You can go. I went to college twice, and the first time I didn't finish. The second time I did finish. Mm-hmm. But I felt like, for me, school was important in order to understand the way that the structure of business works in the world, and the way, especially in this field. So get knowledge if you want to do something like become, a graphic designer. You have to understand not just the art of it, but the business side of it as well. Correct. You have to have as much knowledge as possible. So if you're going to be a doctor or a lawyer, yes, go to school. You have to go to school. Yeah. But if you want to be an entrepreneur, you don't necessarily have to go to school, but you do have to be schooled.
Yep. You have to be educated. I call it hustle IQ, man. You got to know. You got to have some good hustle IQ. You got to know what you're doing, know how your money's working. You got to know your financial statements. And you're right. A lot of people don't know that. They just think I'm just going to jump into being an entrepreneur, and they fall flat on their face. But it's a constant learning, man, for me. But I agree with you. One of my biggest sparks with like me wanting to get into entrepreneurship was just me stepping back and like looking when I was playing basketball in high school. Like I literally rode that wave, dude, all through high school. And I had to leave and go to El Cajon to say, I'm not a basketball player anymore. I love basketball. Don't get me wrong. Love basketball. I will play basketball every single day if I could. But I didn't fit in that mold. Like basketball wasn't my only thing. I had arts and all these other things. So I had to leave Hoover and go and enroll myself into El Cajon to actually say, what, I need to break away from that. And I just focused on art. I focused on dancing and things like that. So it's just like being able to say, I don't want to just be this. I want to step back and see like the big picture instead of just being the basketball player. Like, why not be the actual owner?
Exactly.
Why?
Sometimes we can only see through a small lens because that's what we're given.
Yep.
But once you zoom out, it becomes a broader picture and you can see other things,
Yeah, man. So it's been some time, man, since we actually done a project together with dance and everything. So, what is one of the biggest things in this upcoming year, 2 years, that like a big project that you got in the works? If it's not proprietary or anything like that? Like, what is something that you're really like working on arts wise?
Man, I work on art every day. So,
Yeah.
in terms of dance, you mean?
In terms of dance, yeah. Let's be specific. Dance.
So in terms of dance, like I mentioned earlier, I'm working with a company called Bookable, where I'm going to be teaching online dance classes. Um, and whether you want to be a professional or you want to be an amateur or you just whatever you do for a hobby, exercise, I have that platform available for you, and that's launching actually in March. So look out for that, Ramon Ivey on Bookable. You can look at my social media and find all that information. But
Okay.
other than that, I'll be teaching again in the parks for my elderly students. I'll be teaching online as well for continuing to do work with WDO and the veterans. So
That's
dance
dope.
wise, that's what's going on top of
Everything
perfect
else.
choreographing for them.
Everything, man. So what projects are coming up with them? Like, what are you guys planning for that spot?
Bro, this weekend, actually tomorrow morning, I'm going. We're
Next month. I
flying
mean,
to
actually
Vegas.
tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning, we're flying to Vegas to shoot their second music video for
That's
their
dope.
single called "Talk," and they did a remake of Jodeci's "Talk to Me." So
That's dope. Yeah, I mean, the Freak Show, man, is hot, man. That's a dope track. That's a
thanks. Yeah,
dope
they
track.
did their
Yeah,
thing. They
they
did
did
their
it,
thing.
man. The video was hot too. I like watching it. Yeah,
Appreciate it.
it's good, man. I'm definitely shit. I mean, the first time we did a project together, I was young. I think I was like 16, and I was trying to sing.
Yeah,
And you pulled me in. I was like, okay, gave me some lessons on how to control the stage and stage right, stage left, and that was like our
yeah,
first introduction. So
yeah,
that's crazy, man. Many years later, you're
yeah.
still doing it and rocking it out.
Hey, man, that's what I want to encourage people to do. If you're a dancer, you don't have to necessarily stay a dancer. Like, develop into a choreographer or learn new skills that you can adapt to for the future of your career. You don't. A lot of dancers, they think like after 35, 40, you're done. You
Yeah,
got to go get a regular job, and that's
yeah,
not true. It's only true if you limit yourself.
correct. That's a tough concept though, man. To be honest with you, like we're all taught like young is the best thing,
Yeah,
and if you're not in front of everyone, if you're not the star, then you're not successful. And you're right, like you definitely gotta, there's different avenues, there's different ways you can still be impactful. That's crazy,
right.
man. That's crazy.
Well, I mean, you can be a star without having the shine,
Correct.
if that makes sense. Like, I'm the driving force for Perfect. I'm in the background, but
Mhm.
I still get the credit
Correct.
because everything they do comes from me
Correct.
on the stage, not music wise. To
Yeah.
be clear,
He's
on the stage,
like, that's really my voice that y'all hearing.
that's me. That's all four parts.
The whole harmonies and all. I'm doing it
All of it,
all.
all of
They all lip singing. Joke.
it. Oh heck no!
But that's really it's insightful, man, because I know that was something that I struggled with very young. I wanted to be the singer, wanted to do all that, and then I don't know if it was like a mature part of me started to click in and say, you know what, I don't just. But I also talked to my dad too, and my dad kind of helped engineer that way of thinking. He was like, you don't just have to be the main singer. You can definitely do that because you're definitely talented enough to do so. He was like, but you can
Right.
also be more impactful in so many other ways, and there's other ways that you can do it. And that's when it clicked, and I stopped thinking like just like that. I'm like, I want to be bigger than that. I want to write the songs. That's when you start, like you said, you start growing. Instead of just being an artist, you're like, okay, like what is an artist really? An artist is someone that just sings? No, an artist is someone that writes, and they influence, and they learn, they hone in on their craft, they pick up a guitar, they really dig into it. So
The artists, they don't make money off the music really. They make money from touring and showcasing and performing. Versus, I mean, they do make money off of music, but not compared to their performing. People that write and that are behind the scenes, producers, writers, creative directors, those are the people that make the money.
correct. A couple months ago, when I first started my YouTube channel, I told myself I'm sick and tired of leaving my hard work in 2 weeks. I'm tired of working hard and just I get paid for it and it's done and over. Like that part of me is done. Like I want to be able to make work that lasts, that can bring residual income, that can have everlasting influence. So whether it be, I write a song, whether it be or I have a script, I have a book, just I want things out there that can bring, that's my creativity, that can bring money back to me. It's the same thing like with teaching. If I were to go back and start teaching Heavenly again, I would want it to be where I actually package up, let's say like a DVD or something, or I actually patent, I don't know how you could do it, but like trademark my moves or something and make it to where like Sean T style, you know what I mean? Like really, and actually say, cause he can make money off of the little boot camps and things that he made 10 years from now. Right. Then that's where my mind is at. Like, I'm just sick of that. I'm sick of working so hard, man, just to get that initial check. And then it's gone. I spend it on my rent and it's gone. So that's been my biggest motivation, man.
Yeah, that's the rat race that you were talking about. A lot of people don't know how to get out of it because they don't have the knowledge of how to do it. And although we can't, it's illegal, sadly, to patent our moves. We can package our moves, like you said. So we can't patent them, but we can package them and sell them. And that's something that I'll be doing with Bookable as well.
People pay for your influence. People pay for like who you are as a person, and all those things are extremely important when you're building a brand, when you're building your business. Like all that's extremely important. It's just as important as anything else, because nowadays, if you have 10,000 followers on a social media platform, that's just as much as cash, because someone can come to you and say, hey, you have 10,000 followers. I looked at your last 3 posts. You got 3 million people that liked it. So that's cash. That's equity right there. So it's just as important, to understand, like, if you are going to go and do what you're doing, like, let's say be an artist or whatever, like that's just as important as writing a song, connecting with your fans, loving on them, responding to things that they're saying, taking that feedback, because it's just as important, man. Just as important.
Yeah, social media has become the new TV, in a sense, interactive TV, because back in the day we would watch, cartoons or whatever, then a commercial comes on, and that's how we get our products in our face. But now it's right in our palm of our hand with our phones.
And, you got TikTok and you got like, it's so how as a business owner and I would say an influencer and an artist, like how have you been able to like balance that? He's like, what you talking about?
I haven't. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. I'm only one person. I don't have any employees at the moment. I did before. I contract with people before COVID, but since then it's just been me. So when you have like 10 clients, and it takes a lot of time, like I have 2 video clients, and then I have rehearsal with Perfect, and I have to choreograph, and I have to teach. You know what I'm saying? There's all these different things. I really don't have time for social media, so it's like an afterthought for me now. I really regret when YouTube first came out and all these other things that I didn't take advantage of. I didn't see the potential because I was so focused on learning and growing. So I feel like, it is what it is. You use it as a tool and you try your best as an entrepreneur, but it's definitely easier if you hire another outside source to manage that for you, so that you can
You brought up another point, man.
Your clients and your goals.
It's scalability within a business, man. And I know a lot of people, actually my mother-in-law, man, I was talking to her about it, and she's had a business for like 15, 16 years, and she makes decent money. And what scares her is that scalability aspect, because then she thinks like, just like what you just said right now, you're like, hey, I know social media is a big thing, I need to pay someone. And I was reading a book by Damon John. He's one of like the biggest, he's literally like my mentor. He don't even know he's my mentor, but he's my mentor, because I've read every piece of literature that this man has put out. But one of the things that he said was, you got to stop doing the $10 and $15 jobs, especially in your business. You can't do that, because what happens with us as creatives or as startup entrepreneurs, when we're doing those $10 jobs or those $10 like tasks, it takes away from us being able to grow and focus on our business. So it's crazy. I was telling my mother, like, you got to hire somebody else. I know you love your clients, but you got to hire some. That's the only way you're going to be able to step back eventually and be able to take a day off and not be stressed out about whatever's happening, because you've invested. And that's why you even said earlier, like, these Fortune 500 companies, like, yes,
Right.
they're making $10,000 a day, but they're making it on someone else's productivity. And that's when you start to really see a return on your ROI, is
Right.
when you actually have other people that buy into your vision and they're able to help
Exactly.
scale your business, because you can't do it all by yourself. And that's something that I learned, man. I'm working right now, man, to build a team, because with YouTube picking up and social media, the business, we're actually scouting out a location for the graphics and printing business. So kudos to that. Like, I'm growing that, but it's just like, I can't do everything myself. I can't, man. I can't be over here making templates and mock-ups and putting stuff on the website, and I can't do that, man, because I'm it's too much. So yeah. So I have another question for you. So if you are sitting in a room with someone that is inspiring to be an entrepreneur, let's say they have an idea, creative art, something, they just want to start a business, and they're in their 9 to 5. You have 2 minutes with that person, and you're like, hey, this is what you should do. This is my advice that I would give you in 2 minutes, for that person to actually step out and take on that new adventure in their life. What would that 2-minute advice be?
2-minute advice would be, number one is to believe in yourself. Number two is to, if you can, be a mentor under someone, be a mentee under someone. Don't be afraid to branch out and take the smaller jobs in the beginning until you can create a portfolio, so that you create a presence and a value that you can then pitch. Always have a proposal, always have your 5-minute and your 30-second proposal.
Yeah.
Even if you had to go a 30-minute proposal, be prepared. Preparedness and hard work will always win.
If you are looking for resources to help start, manage, or grow your business, please sign up for my email list, where I give exclusive content and offers and resources to entrepreneurs and startup business owners just like you. You could do that by going to my website at michaeltheentrepreneur.com, and I want you to sign up for my email list. Don't miss out. Man, my wife, she damn near crashed the other day because I told her this quote, and I just got done being sick. She was like, damn, you back. But I said, success is when preparedness meets opportunity.
Boom.
And I think the last two that you said, like, just be ready for it, man. Like, have everything ready and do it. Yeah. Another thing that stuck with me, man, we have to elaborate on it. When you're talking about mentorship, speak on that. Like, what's your ideas on seeking out knowledge from someone that is in their shoe, or in the shoes that you aspire to be?
A lot of people don't know where to start. You know what I mean? When they think that school is the answer, which it is. However, school is the knowledge, but experience beats schooling. So if two people go to an interview and for the same position, and one has only schooling and one has only experience, they're going to take the person with experience, because at the end of the day, it's not just about the knowledge and the written information. It's about the relationship and the interaction and the ability to communicate. All of those things come from experience, and communicate effectively. That's a skill. You can't just communicate and say what's on your mind. You have to communicate effectively, leaving your emotions out of it and being business minded. But you can, if you're a student, seek out these companies. They always need the help. Who doesn't want free help? You know what I'm saying? Or at least in the beginning, but give yourself a timeline. Okay, if I want to do this free help for 3 to 6 months, don't get stuck there. And after that 6 months, you better ask for a salary, and don't be scared to do it. And
because you stepped up, and you actually were in the trenches doing what you needed to do.
So you deserve to be paid now. If you're a business owner and you're seeking to have some help, or to have someone to mentor, go to reach out to the schools. Like, you know what I'm saying? They're complementary. The school needs the help of the business, and the business needs the help of the school. So look towards each other, and you find your answer.
That's crazy. That hit me. Sometimes when you hear things, like, it kind of hits home. It strikes your heart. I've had, I would say, at least 12 different mentors, man, throughout my life. From Trina to G Madison, you've mentored me in many different ways. From Michael Brunker, he was the not the owner, but he was the head exec over at Jackie Robinson, and just having all these people that I sought out to actually help me in my visions. And you're right, like, you just gotta don't be afraid, go for it, and seek that knowledge, because that's the one thing about it too. And I do want to double down on what you said earlier about, like, education is key, but you got to seek the right education. You got to seek the right education. And well, I've watched the interview with Kobe Bryant because he's like one of this guy up here, man. He's definitely inspired me in many different ways. But essentially, he said, when you're focused and you have a vision, then the world becomes your oyster. The world becomes your library to what you're looking for. So if you know what you want to do, let's say you want to go into graphic design and like you are right now, you know that's like one of the things you want to do. You want to grow your business. So now when you're seeking out, you're walking through a store, you're inspiring to look like that. So now you talk and have conversations with the salesperson. You'll talk to the owner. Like for me, that's something that I do all the time. When I'm, I find out I have to, actually, after we get off this call, I got to go and pick up some vinyl because I'm doing a shirt order for a school that I got. So it's a new business. I'm used to getting my stuff out of LA. So now it's like my wife and I was like, dude, we need vinyl like today because we need to get the shirts done tomorrow. So I'm finding places. So now going around networking and then having those conversations. Hey, they have a brick and mortar. They opened up. They're dealing with, all of their shipping and all those things. I can learn something from these people. I can talk to these people. I can build that rapport, build those relationships, and build that knowledge that you're talking about. So it's crazy, man. Like some people are very afraid of mentorships. They get intimidated, but I think they're outside of getting schooling. I think they're one of the best things you can do for yourself. For yourself, man. It's amazing, man. But okay, so I have one more question for you, man. Where do you see? Because we all know like the economy and everything is hopefully it gets better. We know that it's just in a weird spot. But where do you see the world of business after COVID? Like after this goes away, like after people can go back in the house, like where do you see it being better? Do you see it being predominantly online, or you just think it's just gonna go right back to
I used to play the prediction game with myself when I was younger. I learned it's okay to think about things, but not too hard, because you don't want to stress yourself with worries of the future. You want to take care of what you're doing now and be prepared. So when whatever comes your way, you're ready for it. What my hopes are is that people learn from this experience. People are more go-getters. People open up their minds and expand and really are focused on the things that matter to them, the important things. Because think about it, how many people have died? That means that dreams have died. That means that resources for the future possibly have died. So it can be really deep, you know what I'm saying? So seize the moment. Now is the time to prepare for whatever you want to do in the future. Prepare now. Whatever goal you have, you want to be a real estate agent, take the schooling now. You're at home. What else are you going to do? If you want to become a school teacher, now is the time to go to school. Now is the time for education and preparation. If you don't want to go to school, at least go online and prepare yourself for what's to come for you in your future. Don't be concerned necessarily about the world and how that's going to impact you. Deal with that when it comes, because we don't know.
It's crazy. I'm not going to lie, man. Before COVID hit, I had just recently went into a business venture with a friend of mine. We were in 5 or 6 schools. We had after school dance, performing arts. So we were offering jazz, tap, ballet, and it was crazy, man. We actually, one of the best feelings, man, was I was sitting with my phone and we opened up registration and I got ding after ding after ding after new enrollment, $120, $150. And it was like, it got so big, PayPal shut our account down and said, we don't know where this money's coming from. And I had to wait 2 weeks and I called them up like, I can't pay my bills. I need to pay my instructors. So to go from that with COVID and I'm, hustling and doing all these things and then just have COVID hit and it just put everything to a screeching halt. Like the one thing that I'm going to take from what you just said is, and I think it's just important for everyone to take too, is just adaptability, man. Just really, really prepare, really think about your business, try your best to actually, like you said, don't plan so much for like the specifics of something bad happening, but definitely have a plan for if something bad happens, because you can always have something ready. It's just like, it's needing it and not having it rather than, having it and not needing it than needing it and not having it. There it goes.
Car insurance or earthquake insurance.
Exactly. You have it there. You pay a lot of money into it, but at the end of the day, it helps you in times you need it the most, man. Yeah, man. Well, I really appreciate you coming in, man, and sharing some wealth and talking. I mean, many of my followers and my audience are people that are just like us. We're creatives. Most of them are sitting at home. I actually got a DM yesterday. This lady was like, man, I really want to get out of this job, but I just don't know what to do. And I was just giving her some game, like, hey, the only person you could take a risk on is yourself, so this is the time to do it. So, but at the end of the day, like I said, my audience is just like us. They're looking for inspiration. They're looking for stories that are like theirs, that are people that they're inspiring to be. So I really appreciate you coming on, man, and sharing some wealth, sharing your story, giving us some game.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So if you guys are looking to get some of Ramon's services, the way you can do that right now is he's going to be sharing all of his handles with you. So Ramon, hit him up with your handles so they can contact you.
If you are interested in web design, graphic design, or you're a dancer, you want to learn how to evolve your skills, advance your skills, you're looking to be a choreographer, anything arts and entertainment and marketing, hit me up. Number 1 at Ramon Ivey. That's my IG. You can hit me up on my website, Ramonivey.com. Find me, Ramon Ivey everywhere. Ivey is how you spell Ivy. Google me, whatever's convenient.
Google me, baby.
Whatever's easy for you. My name is everywhere conveniently for you to meet, so that we can meet. So hit me up. Let me know what's up.
Yeah, and then just so you guys know, I'll be dropping everything that you need to know about how to get a hold of Ramon and all of his amazing services. I'll leave them down in the description or in the show notes if you guys are listening to this on the podcast. Thank you for watching or listening to the podcast. If you want more content like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. I drop new content just like this at least once a week. I'll see you guys in the next one.